Hey everybody, we're going to make a 4-page career exploration website. And the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to create a web page holding a banner, graphic banner that you're first going to make in Photoshop on your career, whatever that is. And that banner, have a handout for that. You want to read the handout before you actually make the banner, so you make sure that you get everything that I'm looking for, so you get the most points possible. And then we're going to put a navigation. Now, I will not ever in this class want you to copy and paste an old assignment. So if you think you can go in and grab the topic, banner, and web and navigation that you made for the topic site, this navigation is different. So I never want you to do that. The only way you're going to learn this is to do this over and over again to kind of experience it. So that's what we're going to do. You'll notice that on the screen I have what I call a template. I have all the basic tags ready to go with nothing on the page. You want to save this. You can call it maybe banner nav. And you want to save it in a folder called career or career exploration. You're going to save everything in a folder. And that way everything is together in the folder. Okay? That's the easiest way to do this. So again, make a template like I have on the screen. When you go File, Save, make sure you make a new folder. You create a new folder and call it Career or, Career Exploration, whatever you want to call it. And we'll store everything, all the pages, all the images for the pages in that location. Okay? So, enough said. Here we go. So I'm right here. The first thing we always do, HTML. I'm going to make a div. And I'm going to give it an ID name of container. Now remember that if you give something an ID name in the CSS up top, we need to use a number sign before the name to talk to it. If we use a class name, that's a period. So I'm going to make a div, and a div is kind of like a box. It's going to hold everything, right? And then inside this div container, I'm going to make two smaller boxes. One is going to have an ID name of banner, and that's going to hold our Photoshop banner. There it is. And then underneath that, again, I'm inside the bigger box container, but underneath that I'm going to make another div, another box, with an ID name of nav. And that will hold the unordered list, the navigation. Okay, so with that done, now we're going to make the unordered list. So actually, let me grab my banner first. The first thing I'm going to do is the banner that you're going to make is 1,000 pixel by 300. So I've gone to placehold.it, and you're going to actually create the banner. I'm just going to grab some coding. And we've done this before in an assignment. And I'm going to use placehold.it things a lot of times for my web page, my website. And you'll use real images. So I've copied that code in the banner area. I'm going to paste the code. Okay. Now here's the thing. I'm going to change the numbers here. Again, you're going to make a 1,000 by 300 banner. So I've done that, and I placed that image tag inside the banner box. Now I'm going to go down to the nav, and I'm going to make an unordered list. Okay? And I'm going to make an unordered list with clickable things. So I will probably make 5 or 6 links on the nav, only maybe 3 or 4 will work, because it's only going to be a 4-page website. But it'll look better if we have more links. Look more like a real navigation. So with that said, I'm going to make one. So we're going to start with the LI tag, the list item tag. And then again, inside that, we're going to nest an A tag to make it clickable. A ref equals, now right now, I'm just going to put the number sign in the quotation marks. That makes it clickable but doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to say home close off the A tag, close off the LI. Okay, so there is one of the links done. So I'm going to highlight that with my mouse, go Command C to copy, and I'm going to paste 5 of those. Yep. Okay, so now in the other videos I have the navigation already done, but let's say work, let's say contact, let's say boy, links. We'll just make up some here. Let's see here, about us, and then FAQ. Okay, facts. All right, so frequently asked questions. So I'm going to save it, go Command S to save, and again, I'm already done with, come on computer, I'm already done with my unordered list pretty quickly. Oh, I didn't do one thing. Notice I did not close off this UL tag. So that is a boo-boo. So I will close off the UL tag and be done with it. There you go. Now it's done. Okay, so again, just like the topic page, this is going to look differently, but we'll be able to copy this page 3 more times and have our banner and nav on every page all set to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to the container. I'm going to talk to this box right here. And again, because it's an ID name, you can only use it once on a page, which I have. And I'm going to say container, do my curly brackets. And in between the curly brackets, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to give it a width. And we're going to say 1000 px. And then I'm going to place it in the middle of the page once we have things inside of it. I'm going to say margin. Here's that trick. Let's say 20 px. That's from the top and the bottom. And then the second number is going to be auto. And that's going to allow the computer to figure out the left and the right always. And then update it. Okay? So that takes care of the container. Again, we don't have anything on our page yet, but we will. Now I'm going to talk to the banner. So again, we have that ID inside the container called banner, and it's holding that image tag, the banner that you made in Photoshop. I'm going to give it the same width as the container, px, and then I'm going to say, excuse me, height 300. Okay? And then we'll make it nice and tight inside that banner area. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, here's the big one. We're going to talk to nav. And nav is that div in the HTML that is holding the unordered list. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want it to go all the way across the container, 1000 pixels. Then we're going to say text-align center. That's going to put everything in the middle. And then we're going to say margin 0 auto. Okay. Now this right here, because we gave it a width, we should not be able to use text align. Okay, and that's why I'm using auto. So margin auto. So let me see, I'll have to take that away. Let me get something inside of it. Let me finish up my coding and I'll see if I can take text align center away. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to the unordered list, okay? And we're going to tell the computer, hey, we've got this area called nav. I only want to talk to the unordered list in here, just that one. Because if I have any unordered list anywhere on my page, it will also talk to it and design it the same way. So this way you can be specific. So I'm going to say $ nav ul Again, that's very specific. And I'm going to get rid of the dots that show up. And that gets rid of the little, by default there are dots in unordered list. Each list item has a little dot next to it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give it no margin, no empty space around it, outside of it, no empty space inside of it, and this is the new one. We're going to say overflow hidden. Okay, and that's going to take care of any kind of, if this thing was responsive, that would help that, but it won't be. So, but I like to put that in anyways. And then we're going to give it a background color. So we can just say background, and we're going to give it a certain color here that I've chosen. A8A. I went to Color Lovers and found a color scheme. 397, and then a semicolon. So again, that's the hex number. Okay. Now we're going to talk to the LI tag, and again, we're only going to talk to the LI tag, this one specifically inside the area nav. Okay, so here I am right here. I'm going to say number sign nav LI. Do my open and close curly brackets, and I'm going to say display inline, and that basically makes it horizontal. And then the trick is if I do that with nothing, they're all the links are all kind of side by side. They have no spacing whatsoever. So I'm going to space them out using padding, and I'm going to give padding two numbers. The first number is going to be the top and the bottom, 0. The second number is going to be 10 pixels, and that's for the left and the right. So it'll give it some empty space and kind of separate each link between each other. So let me save this thing, Command S. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to that A tag. And it's the A tag that makes things clickable. But we only want to talk to the one in the nav. So we're going to say nav A. And this is what it's going to look like. We're going to design it, how it's going to look when we're not clicking it, we're not moving over it with our mouse. Just when the page loads, we can design it just like this. So I'm going to say display inline dash block, and that's going to basically make the whole element, that whole part, the text, and the background and everything of the A tag clickable. Okay, so it makes it what's called a block element. Okay, the next thing is we're going to make the text white, and that anytime we see color, I'll use the hex number for color, for white, FFF. Okay, and that anytime you see color, that means text. What's the color of the text? Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to align the text in the center of that element. So text align center. Okay? And then we're going to add padding on either side, so to give it some more spacing. So we're going to say 14px on the top and the bottom, 22px on the left and the right. Okay? And then we're going to make the font size. Oh, actually, one more thing. We're going to say text dash decoration none. And that's going to get rid, by default, on an A tag, you have an underline that shows up, and that's the way to get rid of the underline on the A tag. Text dash decoration none. Okay, one more thing. We're going to tell it to have a certain font size for the text, and we're going to use EM or M. And 1M is whatever by default A tag text is. We're going to make it a little bit larger. We're going to say 1.4 EM. Okay, and then go Command S to save. And then we got one more thing. We're going to talk to the A tag on the hover state. There are different states on the A tag that you can mess around with. One is hover. That's the most important one. But again, we only want to do it inside the nav area. So we're going to say nav and then A:hover. And notice hover turns blue. The computer recognizes that as part of the language. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to change the background color. So I'm just going to say background, and then we're going to use a dark, kind of a dark gray or black almost. 111. All right? So if you save that, let's go ahead. I usually like to look at this before I do it, but I opted not to. So you should have something like that. Okay? And that'll get us started. Now, here's the thing. What I want you to do is go in Text Wrangler, and you're going to go File, Save As, and you're going to save this 3 more times. So you're going to have 4 copies total of this. The one you just created, and then 3 copies of it for each page. And that way, when we design each page, you already have the banner and the navigation done. We might have to change it a little bit to whether it's going to be in a container and a box model idea or not. Most of the pages we're going to be doing are box model. But I want you to do this first, and the graphic, the banner, and the nav will look the same on every page. All right? So again, make 3 copies of this. You'll have 4 pages total. Each page we're going to design differently, okay? And then link them up at the end. Thanks.